Okay, so honest confession about my fears and anxieties in my 20s, and the purpose of this exercise is life-changing. It reveals your anxieties, it frees you from them, definitely heals you from them in due time, and it gets the stress out, and it does a lot more, and it gives you a choice, a strategy to obviously disprove these anxieties, but getting them out is most of it. And I was having this conversation with several clients who did this in sessions, and I comforted them in the fact of knowing that I shared, everyone's got this, I had it, and you can overcome it. So in my 20s, when I was going through terrible anxiety with panic attacks, depression, paranoia, trust issues, fear, social anxiety, constant worrying, and unhealthy worrying, stomach problems, diarrhea, eating problems, and then eventually suicidal thoughts, which eventually made me get help and transform my life. So I had these inner voices and fears. It was the same voice that was creating different fears, and I was terrified and feared I'd never get a girlfriend ever. I was terrified and I feared that I'd never have money and I'd always be poor. I'd be homeless, have no money eventually. And I had a fear that I'd never ever be confident, so I'd always have insecurity, anxiety. I would never be free, basically. I also feared my own mind and my own intrusive thoughts. I feared other people finding out that I had these reoccurring thoughts. I was terrified of that, deeply ashamed and worried that they'd catch me out and know that I had these thoughts. I was even worried that they'd hear my thoughts. So my thoughts would threaten me if I told anyone about them. I was terrified of my own thoughts, and I believed I wasn't allowed to tell anyone. They would blackmail me and bully me and frighten me and threaten me and silence me into bottling up all my anxieties, fears, thoughts, phobias, and so forth. If people knew, this is what I thought and believed at the time, if they knew that I had these thoughts, they wouldn't like me, they wouldn't love me, they'd judge me, they wouldn't understand me, and nobody would pay me any money, which means I'd never get employed. I'd always be unemployed. I wouldn't even have any money. I even thought even the benefit system wouldn't pay me. That's how unkind these thoughts were and untrue. Then it would go on to things like women would never love me if they knew that I didn't feel worthy of love. The fear was evil, and it blackmailed me in every department. And its goal was to continue to make me terrified and to keep me silent. That was what its goal was. This made me afraid of living, and it made me afraid of dying. It made me afraid of changing, and it made me afraid of staying exactly where I was. I remember a specific period in Fulham Broadway where I actually wanted to die in my sleep because the mental and emotional pain was too much, and I was terrified of panic attacks. The anxiety would get to a point where it made me feel sick with worry and dread. I was constantly rushing to the toilet, and I was pacing up and down, my flat, because I couldn't relax, couldn't sit still. Eventually I had to phone my mum and tell my mum to help me because I was having an anxiety attack, panic attack. And my mum was lovely, she was always calming me down. My nan did the same. I'd sometimes have to run out the house, get on the bus, go to my nan's. The anxiety attacks were so strong. So my nan would ask me, she was great. She just, like all nans and mums and good grandpas, they can read your face, they know when you're worried. She'd say to me, you seem worried, you're on edge. And I'd say, I can't stop worrying now, I'll keep worrying. I'm not going to meet a woman. I can't get a job. I'm failing, I'm going to let everyone down. My nan would always reassure me that that isn't true. So yeah, just worrying about never going to meet someone, not going to be anybody, going to be poor. I felt embarrassed. So confessing this, as hard as it felt in my own head, I felt better getting it out. I actually done the opposite. It actually gave me the strength to not believe those lies, that evil, that darkness, that anxiety, those intrusive thoughts. So confession or confessing is how you calm the anxiety, disprove the lying and the thoughts wrong. These thoughts are not true. So I'd say for now, that's anyone who feels comfortable should do that. I highly recommend that they do that with I'd say do it with someone you trust, because obviously I've got to a level where I'm fine saying this publicly. I want the whole world to hear it, because it's part of how I help people, and I feel grateful that I've got the strength to confess this publicly and let the whole world hear it. It will help a lot of people. I put my own selfish feelings and fears aside, because I know it can save people's lives and help them, and it feels like the right thing to do, and I'm a lot more comfortable talking about this than I actually thought I would be, even at age 40, even though I don't believe these things anymore, and I overcame them. At any given moment, on a really bad day, if I get triggered, even at 40, being healed, being confident, being happy, being God-fearing, if I get triggered and I allow myself to believe my thoughts, I can be dragged back to that place and hear those types of thoughts and anxieties. So these anxieties are strong, even when you beat them and disprove them. It doesn't matter how much money I've made over the years. I've made lots of money, lost money, given money away. Money's not my motivation. It doesn't matter how much love I've had a lot of love, good relationship, some not so good ones. It can still come with its lies, but you start to understand that the mind don't make sense often. It's fearful, it's human nature. I want to say this kindly, be aware of how I'm saying it and the place I'm saying it. What also freed me up is realizing that there's every single human being on planet Earth has these thoughts, has this voice. Some may not have it as strong because things are going well, and that's great, wish that on everyone, but people have it. So no one is better than anyone. No one's better than anyone or below anyone. Obviously people do believe that, they fall into that, and all I can say is forgive them, that's fine. We've all done that, but it isn't true. So that gives me hope, should give you hope. You shouldn't feel ashamed. But of course, you don't want to just give up on life and say, well, these are all my fears, I'm confessing them, I hope they're not true, and they're not true. You want to go out and live your life and, you know, keep being honest, being a good person, and you will disprove, you will have those things. Everybody deserves to have money, everyone deserves to have love, everyone deserves to have peace, everyone deserves to have good mental health. I pray for that. So the courage, and funny enough, that thought process I had at that time, and the place I was in is not where I'm at now, I eventually told the whole world about that. The opposite happened. My life went amazing. I got a girlfriend, I made money, I helped people. I'm talking about in my old life, but the teaching, honest confession, and that's what therapy is about. The best therapy, or mentorship coaching, it's about confessing your deepest fears and then working through them and getting proof that they're not true. And you do that through communication, different ways, faith, training, dieting, changing your life, getting it out. People might judge you because they're judging themselves, they're being unkind, they're going to harm themselves, forgiving them. You just get over it, or you accept it, you get comfortable, and you just don't believe it, and you continue living a great life and proving to yourself that these things are not true. But you have to have the courage to talk about it again and again and again until you no longer believe it, and you can almost laugh at it. You can let it come up, you can not feed it, you can not entertain it, or you can use it. Some of the best artwork in the world, from writers and authors and directors and teachers, myself included, comes from using, the enthusiasm comes from that pain, from that energy, from those thoughts, and they do something decent with it, kind. So you can use it in a creative way. So anyone can do it. I remember when I was going through these things, I never even dreamed, I never thought I could tell the whole world, share my story, be so vulnerable, so open, and feel nothing, to feel calm, not to feel anxiety or what will people think. It makes no difference what people think. It matters what I think about myself and what I want to do, which is to help other people that are suffering, that are in this place, and to also enjoy their life, not take life so serious, but not be in this place, not fair on anyone. So that's my story, part of my story today. That's an exercise that you can do. It changed my life. I was doing this even as a kid. When I used to pray or telling a friend, it's basically confiding in a friend, connection, relationships. So you're not on your own, because that story is really what it's really saying. It's not really about money or for a man not getting a woman, or for a woman not being able to get a man, or people not being able to get a relationship. It's really threatening you of loneliness, of abandonment, of pain, of suffering, of shame, of all putting you in a prison, making you feel that and it's not true. Relationships, there's so many good people out there that don't judge, that will care. And for those that do, just got to forgive them and say that they're not in a great place. You wouldn't do that to a human being. because you know what it feels like. So that's it, that's how you do it. And you know, it's like everything in life. It's hard at first. It's the same as the boxing. You're scared, you're uncomfortable, you're worried. All you're thinking about is what were people thinking about me. But as you get more confident and experienced and you have a higher tolerance to the backlash, you're no longer fearful of what people think because you think good about yourself. And bottling things up is never a good thing. It's a natural defense mechanism, and I think it has its time and place. But bottling things up for too long can be catastrophic for people, for men and women of any age, for mental health, illnesses, emotional problems, relationships. We've got to get it out in a calm and controlled way and speak to someone who cares, who understands. And we've got to follow our heart, whether that's getting therapy, that's just doing a YouTube video, you can do that. A gentleman actually, really proud of him, made my day today. I got an email. Where is it? I'll read this out. I was so happy for this guy and proud of him. So he said, "Dear Jonathan, I hope this email finds you well." It did. Firstly, I'd like to say thank you so much for the valuable content you've created in your YouTube videos. You're very welcome. I've been watching your YouTube channel since around June of last year. It's really amazing to learn from your insights earlier this year. He said he went and got therapy, 15 sessions. That's so good he done that. That's so brave. But he's decided now he wants to go on his own. He's ready. He's finally set up the courage to do his own YouTube channel. I watched his videos. I thought you spoke brilliant. I thought you were kind, you were brave, you're facing your fears, you're helping other people. He says thanks again. He's left his link. So I'll leave a link below my channel so you guys and girls can check out his channel and follow it. I found his video brilliant and brave. Thought he was great. He did it. He did it. He confessed his fears in the video. It's nothing to do with me. I ain't taking credit for it. And he made a video and he was so confident in the video. Anyone can do it. Anyone can do it. So if you enjoyed this video, share and like this message for men and women, people of all ages who are struggling to get things out. And this is not just an exercise that you can use with your deepest, darkest thoughts, with what I suffered. This is a whole communication. This is what helps. This is what I'm learning. To have great relationships in all areas of life, family, friends, your clients, your career, and with yourself. Of course, I want to say to people, take your time. And I'm still taking my time because it's heavy, this stuff. And like all things, if you rush it, it can burn you out. It can affect you in a negative way. Take your time and build up the tolerance to talk and get these things out and heal and disprove and live a great life, right? Appreciate all your support, everyone. I'll speak to you soon. Have a great weekend. Bye.